My whole life I had wanted to snowboard, and I wanted to be consistent with it, and I wanted to really be a person who knew how to snowboard well. There was a calling of purpose that I had to exhaust. There was this feeling that I had to break through in order to figure out what I really wanted to do next in my life. And the only thing I wanted to do in my life at that moment was snowboard. I knew I wasn't going to be able to go on to the next big purpose in my life until I thoroughly exhausted that one. Hey, welcome back. My name is Blake. If you haven't been here before, I guide those on a spiritual journey to help answer the life questions they didn't even know they had. In 1997, Deida published a book called The Way of the Superior Man. In chapter 12, he says, and I quote, "A man must be prepared to give 100% to his purpose, fulfill his karma or dissolve it, and then let go of that specific form of living. He must be capable of not knowing what to do with his life, entering a period of unknowingness and waiting for a vision or new form of purpose to emerge. These cycles of strong, specific action, followed by periods of not knowing what the hell is going on, are natural for a man who's shedding layers of karma in his relaxation into truth." The chapter keeps going on talking about how there is a deep-seated core purpose that every man has to fulfill. And it's our responsibility to get there by taking whatever our outer layer of purpose feels and committing wholeheartedly to that, spending as much effort as we can and focus. And to a point, we'll exhaust all of that karmatic energy around that purpose. We'll maybe grow tired of it or find ourselves complete without feeling guilt or negative about having spent all that time. And then we'll reach a moment where we kind of feel like this lull, we feel this emptiness, where we don't really know what the next thing to do is. It seems pretty common to have that void creep in, where you fulfilled that passion and it no longer serves you. You're no longer in a state of really feeling satisfied by what used to provide you so much enjoyment. This can be seriously disheartening, as that drove a lot of your happiness, or what you were binding happiness to. There was a sense of satisfaction in doing that activity well, so much that now you don't really have a sense of being accomplished by it. According to Deida, it's pretty simple. You've burnt off all that karmatic energy off of that purpose. And now you have to sit and wait for a vision of what the next purpose will be, the next thing that you will want to put most of your energy and effort to, something that's going to actually make you feel satisfied. And when you've gone most of your life thinking that I want to be a fireman, or I want to be a policeman, or I want to be a professional athlete or something, and then that realization comes to you where you recognize that those desires were things that were set either in your childhood or they were instilled by your caregivers or your parents. While meaning well, you find out that they were necessarily given to you at a point in your life that you're no longer in anymore. But now there's this moment of shifting, this transformation that has to occur. Unfortunately, it's not easy. You have to keep experimenting, and you've got to keep paying attention to really how you feel about things. The last thing you really want to do is get in a habit of finding refuge in new vices, binging on television constantly, sinking all your time into video games or drugs, alcohol, women, gambling. Anything that's going to distract you and keep your time occupied is going to reduce the amount of time that you get to have a new vision, to have a new perspective of what is going to be the next potential passion that you need to burn off, that is going to bring you to your true purpose. For me, whenever I find myself getting really distracted and not really being fair to finding what my purpose is, I try to spend a lot more time in nature, whether it's going camping or going to meditation retreats. I've gone and done various other plant medicines, ayahuasca and peyote. I've gone to do temazcals and sweat lodges. There's all kinds of number of things you can do, and there's really no right or wrong answer. It's just important to really audit yourself and really be honest with if you're giving yourself the space and the compassion to either follow what purpose you think you have new on the horizon, or give yourself more time to be content with the fact that you don't know. And realize that it's not necessarily depression, it's not necessarily you failing at life or feeling like I'm already this age and I should have my shit together. You're not losing your shit, you're just growing. And growth isn't pretty. It's not, sometimes it isn't fun, and sometimes it isn't beautiful. But you really have to trust in the process and own it, and recognize that you may not have all the answers today, but you're gonna be closer to getting there. And when that vision finally does come to you, it may not be as obvious as, oh, it's very 100% clear 2020 vision on what I need to do. It may be very subtle, and it may be very muddled. And that can be even more challenging because then you don't know where to begin. But the point isn't having all the answers. The point is just trying to do a little bit. Gather as much information as you can and keep trying to move the needle forward. Because eventually you're gonna find something that really truly brings you peace and really brings you happiness. If this is interesting to you, I really recommend The Way of the Superior Man. It's a great book on giving you a better idea of the divine masculine. Also, it really kind of paints a relationship of the masculine with the feminine. I really recommend it to any man over the age of 18, and for any woman that really wants to have a better idea of what a true representation of masculine is with the relationship with the feminine, would really benefit from reading this book. There's a link to this book in Blake's bookshelf, which is a PDF. I have a link in the description below. Check that out after signing up for my newsletter, where I send you updates about videos and other things I'm working on. I'd really love to have your support and have you a part of my community. And as always, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you again in the next one.